Got an article from BoundingIntoComics.com here. Dilbert dropped by publisher after creator Scott Adams accused of holding racist views and promoting segregation. It says he's falsely accused of being both a racist and a segregationist. Adams came under scrutiny after addressing a poll conducted by Rasmussen, which found that only a very small percentage of black Americans disagreed with the statement, "It's okay to be white." According to the poll, the 1,000 individuals surveyed from various ethnic and political groups, roughly 18% of black respondents, or roughly 180 individuals. That's actually, it said, from various ethnic and political groups. So that means 1,000. It's not 1,000 black people, but whatever. Anyway, asserted that they strongly disagree with the statement as presented. Similarly, 8% of black respondents somewhat disagreed with the statement, while 21% were not sure how they felt about the phrase. Blah blah blah. It adds up. There's a tweet about it and shit. Taking notice of the poll on or around February 22nd, he carved time out of that day's episode of Real Coffee with Scott Adams to comment on, ridicule even, its results. If they had a provocative little poll, blah blah blah. He goes on, says he further noted, it's just a recap, basically. 47 black respondents were not willing to say it's okay to be white. That's like a real poll that's just happened. Do you have any idea? Would you have imagined that could happen? The artist says, I've been identifying as black for a while because I like to be on the winning team and I like to help. And it's kind of more that kind of cloying way that basically Scott Adams likes to try to present himself and talk about himself as if he's the smartest guy in the room. He's playing 4D chess and everyone else is playing checkers and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's when you just cue the DJ Khaled meme. Congratulations, you just played yourself. Because he walks right into their trap. He walks right into it and it just, puts his foot in his mouth and stuff and blah, 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 all that stuff. We can skip past the stuff about him identifying as black, yada, 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 whatever. It's just more of his kind of, look at me, aren't I subversive kind of bullshit. It's that, whatever. He says, I have to say this is the first political poll that ever changed my activities. Oops. I don't know that's ever happened before. The befuddled creator continued. Normally you see a poll, you just again go, whatever. And then he says, as of today, I'm going to re-identify as white because I don't want to be a member of a hate group. I had accidentally joined a hate group. So nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll. Not according to me. According to this poll, that's a hate group. It's that kind of equivocation bullshit that a lot of people like to try to do where they're like, I'm not saying it, someone else is saying it. And it's like, yeah, but you're bringing it up. But anyway, it's neither here nor there, I suppose. So up above, the very beginning of the story said he was falsely accused of being a racist and segregationist and all this kind of stuff. But yet, right here, you just called black people a hate group. It's like, dude, you walked right into their trap. Quite frankly, he sounds like a fucking moron saying this kind of stuff. It's like seriously, it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away because there's no fixing this. You can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's why I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population because unfortunately there's a high correlation between the density. Then he goes on and talks about how, like, Don Lemon years ago talked about this stuff before he went all crazy and stuff. And, bringing up the whole fatherless homes and all this kind of stuff and everything. And it's like, you can just tell, again, to reiterate, to repeat myself, however you want to phrase it, that Scott Adams thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. He reminds me of this guy I used to know who would basically say things and act like, I'm going to make this huge corporation. They're going to play by their own rules and I'm going to get them. I'm going to force them to do this or that or whatever. And it's like, dude, you ain't fucking doing shit. You're a little guy. You ain't doing nothing. These huge corporations will bend you over the, and take you without lube or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, what are you talking about? So again, it's like, and I won't go in. I'll link this article if you want to read it for yourself because it goes on and on. It talks about all the Don Lemon stuff and everything. But that's the relevant stuff basically because now he just gets into that whole, saying the quiet part out loud and all that. Which there's elements to this kind of stuff that's true when they start talking about like fatherless homes and all that kind of stuff and everything. But then it's like once again, dude, you are playing right into their hands. Because after saying all this kind of stuff, I had accidentally joined a hate group and all this kind of stuff. So you're not being subversive. You're not being funny. You're not being like smart and, snarky and all that kind of stuff. You're playing right into their hands. And now they're calling you a racist. It's Like, what the fuck, dude? So, again, congratulations, you just played yourself. You know, as I said right here, falsely accused of being both a racist and segregationist. He did say that white people should get the hell away from black people. He did say that black people are a hate group. You know, it's like, come on, dude. You know, like how many times do people have to do this kind of stuff before they realize that when you're saying this kind of stuff, you know, you can't just be shooting off at the mouth because you're not some super genius, you know, who never says anything wrong or whatever. It just, you sound ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. And it's not just on this issue. I've seen Scott Adams talk about this kind of stuff in a multitude of areas, talking about whether it's the virus, the vaccine, or whatever. You know, and he always acts like he's the smartest guy in the room, and it's like, dude, you just showed yourself to be a complete fool here. You know, now maybe he doesn't, you know, maybe this doesn't matter to him anymore. Maybe he doesn't, you know, maybe he doesn't care. But I think it's like 77 more newspapers dropped his strip and so on and such forth and stuff. And it's just, maybe you don't need the money. I would hope not at this point. Been very successful, had a very successful career. I would hope he doesn't need the money. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's like, dude, you're not. All you've done is played yourself. I hate to keep repeating that, but it's the truth. I'm gonna go ahead and end this here because I'm starting to ramble and stuff. But you know, like I said, I'll link this in the description box. You can read it for yourself. You might disagree with me. You might think I'm an idiot. You might think I'm a jackass or whatever. You know, that's fine. I mean, you know, we can agree to disagree or we can debate about it. You know, it's up to you. Whatever. But anyway, thank you very much for watching and have a good one.